Welcome back to Earth Station Trek, a show where we trek from the early days on NBC to the future on Paramount Plus and everywhere in between. I'm Charles Kelso, and it's my privilege to introduce the Earth Station Trek crew: Keith Johnson,
How's it going, gang?
Alan Seiler,
If we could avoid another direct hit, that would be super helpful.
and Veronica Dashel.
Hi.
And welcome back, everybody. We're all here this week.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Our show went well last week, and I listened to you guys, and your show went well as well. So great job. Yeah, it did.
That was really fun. A lot of questions and things for thought that were asked last week, and we had no trouble filling up the time.
Nope.
Right.
In fact, when I was going to take a break at what I thought was about the halfway point, it was already 45 minutes in. And I'm like, that was so fast.
I know. I couldn't find the commercial break when I edited the podcast.
And we listened to it the next day, and then he fixed it.
Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to be talking tonight about the first 4-minute clip from Starfleet Academy, and we thought we would just spend an hour nerding out about it because that's what we do. But before we get into that, I mean, we had a little bit of kind of weird Star Trek news this week, in that Paramount Plus is trying to do a hostile takeover of Warner Brothers, with backing, like financial backing now from like Qatar and Saudi Arabia and Jared Kushner, and apparently trying to cut a deal with Donald Trump to give him to change CNN if they can buy that too, to get the regulatory approval. So it's one of those where not the Star Trek news I thought I would be reading or Star Trek related news, but anybody have any thoughts about the
whole thing is stupid.
The new owners of our beloved franchise?
I mean, who could ever have predicted that this would have happened? I mean, this is just the most bizarre thing. That it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It goes to show that we're going to have to work for that Star Trek future. Whenever you have that question, and you play the game, what science fiction or what fictional world would you rather live in? Star Trek has always, hands down, been my first response. And I think people need to remember that Gene Roddenberry, for all of his utopian and idealistic views, also posited a future where we were going to have to go through a lot of hell before we attain that paradise he predicted.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, for him, that was a couple of world wars. And don't forget, in his history of the future, there was Colonel Green, the genocidal, what would you call that guy? Genocidal xenophobe. Yeah, but Colonel Green, he had a purity test. And we're living through some hard times right now. I think that's what Star Trek teaches you: 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and 1 step back right now. I am concerned about it for one reason only. One of the first things that David Ellison, the son of Ellison, who started Oracle, did was the Paramount and Skydance folks swore to Trump that they were going to stop all what they call DEI.
Right.
And the reason that's a big deal, obviously, because Star Trek is, look, I've been through all this SHIT, affirmative action, politically correct, blah, blah, blah. Star Trek is nothing if not intentionally diverse. And that actually makes me nervous. There's a reason why you had the first starship captain that was a female in the movie was a Black woman, Uhura on the bridge, Sulu, Chekhov, blah, blah, blah. That concerns me, those little subtleties they made attack.
Yeah, I mean, one good thing is that the Star Trek that we're going to be watching for the next several years, at least, is already in production in the can before the Ellisons showed up. Now, when they first announced the Skydance thing, the only thing I knew about Skydance and David Ellison was that they had co-produced the previous Star Trek movies, and reportedly he was a Trekkie. So I was like, great. The more I learn about them, the more I share your feelings there, Keith, and a little bit nervous about what that could mean for the franchise and now the world, apparently.
Right.
Absolutely.
And another fold in this fabric is that Netflix announced today that all Star Trek content is going to be gone from their platform at whatever date. I guess the end of December, I think it is.
Yeah, end of December for America. And it's really just the Kelvin movies and Prodigy season 2. But worldwide, January, it's all coming off. Right.
Yes. So either one of the two sides is playing hardball. I don't know. It's crazy. Who thought that Paramount would be, I don't know, bold, stupid enough to try a stunt like this?
Yeah.
They're not the top of the tier of streaming platforms. They're close, but they're not Netflix level. They're not Hulu level,
Right.
I'd say above them is Netflix, HBO, Hulu, Apple TV, Disney. So, I mean, they're top 10.
Maybe middle of the pack.
There aren't many of major ones,
I don't even think they're actually a major one because they don't have enough content.
They're growing, and they've got stuff.
Yes.
Really, the only content I watch is the Star Trek stuff, so I don't know. I'm not that versed in what else they have.
I will say they have a lot of great music documentaries. That's what, in addition to Star Trek, that's what I'm there for.
The thing about things like Star Trek is you can still look the same on the surface and change the interiority of what you give. For example, 10 years from now, to your point, Charles, when this new regime is controlling the franchise, you can still have gay people, women, people of color in positions, but it's what they're saying and doing and how they act subtly that could change the message of what Star Trek is. And that's what concerns you, because it can be real easy to go, oh, look, we still got, people of color and stuff, but what are they saying and how are they acting? That's what matters.
Yeah.
And I would say that, I mean, Star Trek has always been a platform for when there is censorship of getting things around the censors through the Star Trek, telling the stories in the Star Trek universe and getting, I mean, Roddenberry used to do that in the 60s. So worse come to worse, I think Star Trek is still, depending on who we have in charge, well suited for that. But Keith, cheer us up a little bit. Let's stop looking to the future and let's look to the past.
All right, let's look into the good past. Okay, well,
before you start, I have a comment that is appropriate now because it says, Mark says, Keith has Captain Holly Hunter's glasses.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to talk about those glasses in the future.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. I found this really cool. The 7th of December, which is, these things are so ironic. The 7th of December, of course, for world history, 1941 was the attack on Pearl Harbor, and this would be resonant. But 25 years later, of course, you've got Star Trek, a world that talks about utopian future. On the 7th of December, 1966, the first drafts were presented for 2 episodes of the original series. First was This Side of Paradise with the Spores, Veronica, if you don't know that by name, where Spock gets emotion, and Space Seed, talking about war and having to go through some rough times to get to the good times. That was 1966. And then this is amazing. Just a few years later, 1979, December the 7th was the official release date of Star Trek, the motion picture.
Wow.
Yeah, we talked about that last week when Al and I were hosting. I didn't realize that the original filming of it was in Washington, D.C. on December 6th. They had a cut that they took, and then the official worldwide release was the next day. And the producers behind the show actually said that the movie was so rushed that they barely finished the soundtrack, like seriously, like a week or so before the release. And the producers involved said that they didn't even get to screen the movie for test audiences, which they thought was a mistake. I guess they feel they would have cut it a little more had a test audience looked at it first.
Yeah, they were literally shipping the prints wet because Paramount had pre-sold the date to distributors, and the distributors were sort of getting tired of that practice. And from what I've read, the distributors were planning to make Paramount and make an example out of Paramount if they didn't make their date. So there was a lot of pressure on them to have a movie in the theaters December 7th, 1979, come hell or high water. There's going to be a movie, and so I know that a lot of the things that people have complained about, but also things that people like Robert Wise were dissatisfied with about the film were because you didn't have that process of going through another edit and reshoots and things like that.
Right. It's an interesting movie. Its opinion is involving. You can easily find people who love it. And you can easily find people who say it is the most Star Trek of all the Star Trek movies, despite it being slow. Yeah, I think it's a good movie too. I think you have to come from it from a certain point of view and a certain perspective. It's probably got the most Gene Roddenberry message of all the Star Trek films. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay. Now moving forward, in Star Trek history, Lane and Matt, have they gotten here yet? I think they have. 1992, also December 7th, the final draft for DS9 episode "Move Along Home." And I forget that we say that we actually truly dislike that episode, or that it's so bad it's funny. Well, how do we feel?
I like it.
Conceptually, it's a great episode.
Okay.
It's enjoyable to watch. I wouldn't put it on my top 10 DS9 episodes by any means.
No.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not like in The Children Shall Lead, right?
No.
Yeah. I think I would agree with that. All right, let's move forward a few years. This is a good one. December 10th, 1966. I don't know if somehow I missed this and didn't realize this. Star Trek, of course, is one of those shows that was in danger of being canceled as soon as it started. I mean, we obviously know about the 2 pilots.
Right.
What I didn't realize was that in December 10th of 1966, and I checked this, not 1967, 1966, an open letter was written for the fans by several notable authors to warn them that Star Trek was in danger of cancellation. And those authors were Robert Bloch, Richard Matheson, Harlan Ellison, and Theodore Sturgeon, among others.
Those
And
are heavy hitters.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're talking everything from Psycho to the what's the guy, the Last Man on Planet Earth, of course, Harlan Ellison. And isn't that ironic? Harlan Ellison wrote a letter to save Star Trek, and now then he cursed their name after that because of what they did with his.
Right. And if for people out there who don't or aren't familiar with like literary sci-fi writers of the mid-century, I mean that's like saying, yeah, it's a letter concerning baseball that was written by Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth. You know, like these guys were like the cream of the crop in sci-fi anthologies.
Yeah, go read Teddy Sturgeon. He's amazing.
Absolutely, I agree, Alan. Okay, a couple more real quick. This is funny. In 1967, then 1 year later, the 11th of December was the famous campaign started by Bijo Trimble to save Star Trek. And of course that worked, the letter writing campaign. And it was a year after those first authors had written their letter, which she was always a huge fan of the show. So that had, of course, caught her radar. Star Trek's one of the, I mean, there's a famous list of shows that have been saved by letter writing campaigns. It's probably one of the most famous that was done. People have been trying it for years now. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of lists. You could do a whole show on the number of shows that have been saved by letter writing campaigns, but Bijo started that. Yeah.
I have a very great series that it was.
Me
What was
too.
Veronica Mars.
Oh, I didn't think about that one. There's so many others. Cagney and Lacey.
And it's sci-fi because it's set on Mars.
Yeah. Sure.
One other quick thing. This is funny. 20 years after the open letter from those authors warning that Star Trek might be canceled, 20 years later to the day, 1986, the first casting call was sent to studios and casting agencies for a new series called Star Trek: The Next Generation. And isn't that wild? 20 years later, and here we are.
It's fun to go back and look at, I don't have it in front of me, but it's fun to look at the list of the actors who were like shortlisted for some of these roles and who were like top contenders because that show could have turned out very differently.
Yeah. Oh,
Keith, did you say 20 years later? Here we are.
20.
Because that was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
No, I mean 20 years from 1966.
Oh, I see. I got
You know, it's bad of going back to 1986 almost might be better than it is now, but that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
Okay, that's This Week in Trek.
Well, thank you for that. Let's get into Starfleet Academy because I mean it's exciting. A new Star Trek show. We've seen 4 minutes now. I mean, what was everybody's just sort of general first reaction to the clip?
Glasses are stupid.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Way to kick it off on a positive note,
The
Veronica.
big takeaway. I mean, I will say it's not as stupid as in what was the season 1 or 2 of Picard, where Commander O put her sunglasses on. That was so dorky.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Well, before we get derailed, what was everybody else's first reaction?
Yeah.
I had more reactions.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Okay. Also, when the training trifecta person, when she stood up to go to the things, she didn't even tap her combat. She just stood up and went.
Okay. What's your general impression of the trailer itself?
Right.
Of the show?
Did you like it?
Yeah. Was it fun? Was it boring? Did it appeal
was not
to you?
boring.
Okay.
There was a lot of nitpicky things
Sure.
that pulled me out of it.
Okay. Keith.
I am 100% open. I thought it was cool. I like Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti. So you give me good actors and I'm already even more open-minded about it. They're great actors. And they both are fans of Star Trek. And you can't overestimate how important that is. It definitely has the Abrams and that kind of look to it, which is fine. But I'm intrigued about how they're going to pull off what is basically a floating school in space. How that's going to work. I think that more than anything else has me intrigued. How is that going to work? Because when I was looking at it, you're like, yeah, that's definitely not just a ship. That is a school, a whole school in space. And I'm wondering how that's going to work.
Yeah. Alan?
Speaking of a floating school in space, I need some like diagrams or something of this ship because I don't understand its
the
design,
layout.
its layout. I just
Yes.
don't get it. I need
Agreed.
some clear pictures of this thing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Other
Alan,
than
I
that-
wanted.
Other than that, it's an okay clip.
Right.
It was really trying to be action packed, and I have varying reactions to it.
Right.
I will
Alan,
say, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just quick follow up what you said. Thank you for saying I thought it was me. I kept rewinding to try to understand what the ship looked like and the layout. I couldn't get a picture.
There were times when I'm like, is that the front or the back of the ship?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that aft or whatever? Anyway.
Yeah, I think it'll make more sense once we see the ship in action, in longer context. Because what it looks like is you have like the drive section and the saucer that detach from this warp sled and dock at the school, and then it comes back up. But I think once we start seeing that, we'll get more used to it.
Exactly.
But I think the ship itself looks like the comm badge that they all wear, like with the little wings going back. You know how it has I think that's the shape of the ship.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I didn't even get that concept of the warp sled either. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say one other thing. I feel certain that this clip was not scheduled to come out when it did. I feel like they were going to save this for a week or so before the show, like sometime in January, a week maybe before the season starts, but they put that stupid poster out and people reacted so badly to it that they're like, holy cow, what can we do to like rectify this? Put this trailer out and then, or this scene out. And then, you know, people mostly had good reactions to this scene, but it wasn't universal. So I don't know that this really helped them, but at least it wasn't as bad as that dumb poster.
Right. Veronica?
I just realized that the seats of their chairs are Starfleet Deltas. The bottom.
Oh,
of
the
their
base.
base of their
Yeah,
chairs.
there's that. You're right. You can see it in the our background there.
Yep.
I liked it just fine. I mean, I got nitpicks, and there are elements of like modern Star Trek tropes that happen again and again that I don't care for that were here. But I mean, as far as just as an enjoyable 4 minutes of TV to watch, and it felt quite Star Trek-y with you know, the ship under attack and so forth. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, so we're going to start another series off with the ship getting blown up.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
I mean, the ship's, to be fair, it's the hero ship in a Star Trek. It's going to be under attack in episode 1.
But they're like literally ripping it apart.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, okay, Veronica, you mentioned the glass. Oh, you know, let's grab some comments before we.
Yeah, because some of them go back to our intro.
Okay.
And I might not get all of them. I might have missed something, but Matt said how I learned to stop worrying and love the motion picture. And
right on.
Bill says, I enjoyed it in a theater those many years ago and didn't get the impression it was dragging at times and too long. And now the even longer director's cut is extra fun with riff tracks.
No.
Yeah.
I can support that.
Nope. No riff tracks.
Matt says, I feel the clip did, and we're talking about the Academy clip, did feel, or sorry, erase some of those Dawson Creek's vibes from the promo. Exactly.
Probably what they were
they're
planning.
trying to do the job that I was saying. Elaine says, I really enjoyed the clip. It definitely took or looked better than the show poster that they just released. And I do agree with trying to figure out the layout of the ship. Yeah. She also says, I also like the diversity of the bridge crew.
I do as
There's
well.
a lot to talk about in this bridge crew.
Yeah, there is.
And Mark says, is the bad guy a renegade Starfleet officer?
Oh,
no.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But I mean, we don't know that much about him.
Yeah, we don't know.
Well, I mean, where do you want to start? You want to start with Paul Giamatti? Since he got mentioned.
Sure.
What do you think about Paul Giamatti?
He still doesn't look like a Klingon or Tellarite or a mixture of them.
True.
I do not like. I do not like that the hollow images walk around the bridge, can step up onto things. Because what are you doing on your bridge? You're walking around your bridge and stepping up onto things. How is your bridge exactly the same layout?
Yeah.
And also when his ship came together, that was really stupid. Okay, that's all I have to say about that one.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the what he's doing on his ship, that he's walking around as a holodeck. I mean, as a hologram. But my thought was just like you shouldn't let the bad guy like wander around your bridge.
No.
As a hologram, right?
No.
Like, can he read the panels?
Yeah.
Can he? Yeah. Can you remember when like Lursa and
Right.
B'Etor hacked Geordi's visor and they saw the shield frequency and they
Yes.
used it to just destroy the Enterprise D?
Yes.
Like, you don't want Paul Giamatti just wandering around your bridge. Like, is everybody covering their stations up so you can't see what's going on?
Right.
I think knowing what I know, knowing that he has been as big a fan of Star Trek since childhood as we all are, I really felt him hamming it up.
Yeah.
And he's probably like, like he said, he was happy as a pig, and you know what, when he got the role.
Right.
So you can tell he was already enjoying hamming it up.
Yeah.
When he shows up.
I kind of feel like the immediate impression that I got of this guy is that he comes on and makes a big show. And he's not going to amount to jack squat. He's going to be just like Osira in Discovery. He's going to be just like Vadic in Picard season 3. They're going to use this guy to make a big entrance, and then he's going to filter out, and it's not going to be anything, and he'll be a 1-season villain, and it's not going to amount to anything.
Oh gosh!
I mean, you might be right about the 1-season villain. They love that to like.
They do. That's
the
their
end
pattern.
of the 10 episodes. Kick him off a cliff.
Yeah.
I hope not,
They
because
forget.
you got Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you got an actor who can really. Right. Or I mean, we had some great, like Kai Wynn was played by a great actress back in the day. Like, you could really give him the opportunity to shine. I think he's already more interesting than Osira ever was.
I agree with that.
But you're right. It is the trope of the big evil pointy ship, and we keep getting these big evil pointy ships going back to like the Scimitar, the Narada, the whatever Osiris was called, the Shrike. Like
the Shrike.
My ship is evil. You know, exactly. This one's even pointier than the last one.
It has a bunch of points that all come together.
Right.
But
at least it didn't have a mouth.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but when your big line is about an origami chicken, I am not going to take you seriously as a villain.
Like,
I'm done with you already.
If he's a hologram, could he reach over and just hit a panel? Could he like
press
a button on their bridge when they're not paying attention?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Can
possible.
he? Well, it depends on how solid they are. Can he put his hand in a panel and short circuit the whole thing?
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe he's Vision. Who knows?
I don't know. I think there's some untapped potential there.
Yeah.
And also, you don't let enemy holograms wander around the bridge.
Right.
All right. You want to grab some comments?
Yes, because we have a few. Let's see. Matt says, I hope the cadets' relationship with the veteran bridge crew work a similar dynamic as lower decks. I think that's going to be the thing that's going to be the most enjoyable to watch. Right. Let's see. Calisaurus says, ooh, agree, Veronica.
Yes, should not be able to walk around. Bad idea.
Yes. And past the shelf date, that's funny. Says Veronica, I mainline comedy for health reasons. That said, I'll never watch Ghost House again, even with riff tracks.
Okay.
And Matt wraps us up by saying, you can judge the level of malevolence from a ship based on how pointy it is. Apparently,
I would love to see a captain be like, that's one pointy ship. Raise shields. And look at those green glows. They're up to no good.
That's right.
It's like in Voyager where the bad guys always had gloves on. If they had gloves on, they're definitely a bad guy.
Absolutely.
There was a bridge crew member who had gloves on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the bridge crew a little bit. Yeah. Now, one thing that seems to I've seen more negative reactions to, something that didn't even cross my mind was that you had people with different body types on the bridge. Not everybody had the standard Starfleet body type. Have you seen these comments from people?
Yes. Holy smokes.
About the science officer in particular. And I mean, was that something that any of you like picked up on or bumped against or anything?
I noticed it, but it didn't bother me.
Right.
I mean, you can't help but notice that they have different body types and looks versus how people are often and cross the streams real life. But didn't bump me. But I guess I hadn't even looked at any comments on it, so I didn't realize that people were complaining about it online. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Wow.
But I'll tell you, I have known some people who are of a larger body type that were far more athletic than me.
Sure.
So I don't think that is a necessarily detriment. I don't think necessarily that is a deterrent to. You can't judge someone's fitness just by their outer appearance. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
But
and
you
we perform a lot in like burlesque shows where all body types are welcome, and
Yeah.
we've certainly seen people of all different body types who are sexy and athletic and do things on stage that I couldn't do.
No.
You know,
Heck no.
Right.
so yeah, that, and I hate that this person's in Star Trek for the first time, and these are the comments that are hopefully they're oblivious to it because
Yeah.
that,
But you know, Mary Wiseman, as Discovery progressed, got more and more of that
Mhm,
over
absolutely.
the years.
Yeah.
And that's some
Wow.
of the things that I've read about this new character is just hurtful.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. It's
I didn't
just,
know it, but I guess I can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah, you're right.
Unfortunately.
Well,
Yeah.
Calisaurus says that Calisaurus loves that they had thick types.
that's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
And Elaine says, I had not seen any of those comments, but oh, how rude.
Mhm.
All body types should be welcome on the bridge, especially since they are not all human.
Heck yeah, that could be a non-human. You don't know.
That's right. And Mark says Captain Holly Hunter has her glasses in hand, puts them in the hands, or puts them and then hands them off. Who does that? I was wondering the same thing. Like, what's the point of handing them to your first officer?
I thought that was wrong. I'm gonna put on glasses to read something at work and then just hand them to my office manager and walk away.
Yes.
See what she does.
Past the shelf date says Farscape finesse. It's very pointy prowler, soon to be former peacekeeper Aaron Sun's space fighter.
True. That was a very pointy ship.
That very pointy.
Mhm.
Matt says there are reasons people shouldn't read the comments. I know,
You're
but
right.
I
I
was
agree.
curious to see how people were reacting to the clip itself, and all I saw were mean things about. Anyway,
Yeah, I fell in the trap.
yeah, exactly.
Really?
Except for mine, he says. And I'm going to start that practice here. I'm not going to read any more of our comments. So,
our
welcome,
comments
Matt.
are nice. We have nice commenters.
yes, past shelf date says in short order it switched sides and while still imposing was more protective. Oh, that's back to Farscape.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's
I think-
let's talk about those glasses. What do you think about a character in the 32nd century having glasses? Because a lot of people are bumping
No.
up against that too.
I mean, we've
yeah.
already seen what's his name in Discovery had
Mhm.
glasses.
Kovic.
Why is it an issue now? Why are we suddenly just so
Yeah.
I mean, because she's a bridge officer, because she's a captain, because she's a Starfleet officer?
Mhm.
Is that what it is?
I thought it was stupid for Kovic, but I think the problem here was that she put them on and then took them off, like she didn't really need them.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
she was
Captain
reading.
Kirk. Yeah, Captain Kirk put them on to read because he was
Yeah.
allergic to retinox 5. And
Right.
in Star Trek 2, it was really they were highlighting that Kirk is older now, right? Because that whole story, his whole storyline was about that he's aged, he's dealing with his past, and as part of that, he now has reading glasses, and you can see him being annoyed as he has to put them on in front of everybody on the bridge. With Kovic, it was really an affectation because
Yes.
I mean, Kovic would have like legal pads and old newspapers and was into time travel and stuff like that. But I think it's an affectation for Captain Ake as well, because we already know that she's a Lanthanite and she's at least 600 years old. So I think that affectation could just be to remind people that I mean, now that also means that she was born like 200 years after the Dominion War. So I don't know that it makes a lot of sense, but I
Right.
think that might be what they're going for with it.
Yeah, but it's also you can just make the choice
Mhm.
that you would rather use glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a legitimate choice, I assume.
It didn't bother me or bump me. The only reason I noticed is because of conversations we've had before, which is 1,000 years in the future. I would tend to think you wouldn't need glasses, and that's not I wear glasses and contacts. I have contacts in right now, so I would just think in the 30th, in the whatever century, you wouldn't need glasses. And I would say
Mhm.
only this one thing: when you're an officer, this is not a PHEG says thing, folks, but when you're an officer who
Okay.
might need to go into combat, it might be a little inconvenient if you got to put glasses on and take them off in the middle of combat. That's the only reason I would say that
That's
would be a
why
little
Michael
problem.
Jackson stopped wearing glasses.
Because of combat?
Yeah, he kept having to go in combat.
Michael Jackson? Who was he fighting?
Okay, thank you, Charles.
Daniel
Did I hear that
Daniel
too? Wait a minute.
Jackson.
Did I hear that?
I was mixing up Michael Shanks and Daniel Jackson.
I
Daniel.
didn't-
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I was like, I should have watched that documentary.
I know.
Oh my. I'm so glad you said that. I thought, wait, Michael Jackson?
Okay, we have a legitimate question here. Pastiche, or sorry, Past Shelf Date says, "What is this clip of which you speak?" We're talking about the first scene that has been released this past week of the first episode of Starfleet Academy.
Right.
And they have released a 4-minute scene from the first episode, and we'll show some stills from it in a minute. We'll go through the actual clip. Oops, I didn't mean to do that yet. And we'll talk about it in depth.
I didn't.
We've spent whole
unless you have them.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that. Never mind. I'll tell you later. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do that. So,
well, let's take a quick break and recover from Battle Michael Jackson.
Oh my gosh, it's already 30 minutes in. How is that possible?
Let's do a quick commercial and we'll all catch our breath and contemplate Michael Jackson's combat history.
His battle worthiness.
Cry.
We'll be right back.
He rallies the troops by going, "Come on." Okay.
Look up, look down, look out. Here come the monkeys.
Mickey,
David,
Mike,
Peter.
We're talking about them in Monkeying Around. That's right. Monkeying Around has everything, including
interviews,
Episode reviews.
album discussions,
and other incredible surprises.
Monkeying Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
And we're back.
We have not calmed down.
All right, we
much.
want to catch up with some comments and then we'll move on to the next topic of discussion.
Oh boy. Okay. Elaine says no more beatboxes for Veronica.
Look, I don't. Okay, that was my first one, and there's only like that much left in it. That was a genuine mix-up of actor and character.
Okay.
Past Shelf Date says, I don't know if my roommate would get in trouble if I tried signing into his streaming services from my laptop in my bedroom. I
It's on
don't think
YouTube.
so.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. If you can watch us, you can watch the clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can watch the clip.
Yeah.
So I don't know when I'll ever watch this new Trek.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
hopefully. I mean, this comes in like in the middle of January. So
Yeah.
you've got time to work out the logistics.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We haven't even got to past the very few characters on the bridge who were talking, but was there
That's
any
right.
other characters on the bridge that jumped out at
Well,
you?
There's some interesting collection of things going on the bridge. We have a ginger Orion,
Mhm. Mhm.
which is interesting. We have something that looks like, and I can't remember it's not the orange girl
Yeah.
who has the weird voice. What is
Yeah.
that?
Well, there was, you talking about the sort of devilish looking?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a character from Star Trek Discovery on the Enterprise, and it was sort of controversial in season 2 because they credited that character as Yeoman Colt, and everyone lost their minds because Yeoman Colt was not a red-faced devil alien. Yeoman Colt was a character we all loved in the original pilot,
Right.
But that appeared to be the same, at least the same makeup.
Yeah.
They're also the ones that had on the gloves, and the
Mhm.
gloves are the same kind of material as their uniform.
Okay.
Oh.
Oftentimes, though, characters that have different colored skin, they'll give them gloves just so
Yep.
they don't have to paint their hands.
Yep.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
I did that.
The first time I saw the clip, just in like the brief glimpse that we get of that character, I thought it was the ones who like Nausicaans. That's the word. I couldn't remember.
Okay.
But I looked at it more closely, and it's clearly not. So I wasn't really clear what that was.
Okay.
But we've got a couple of other like human characters. We've got a nice looking guy in like a pilot, maybe. I don't know what he is, a science guy or something. Khan, I don't know. Who got a lot of dialogue in this clip.
There was one guy who had a really great voice.
Yeah.
A very like incoming vessel captain kind of a voice. you know?
Yeah.
That's the one I think Alan's talking about, right, Alan?
Okay.
Could be.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know. Anyway, but
Yeah. He was the one that was giving more of the status reports and talking about the ship coming in and so forth. So I wonder who he is. Because could he be the XO or no?
I don't know. No, I think that is her name Lura Thok, the
yes,
the Jem'Hadar Klingon. I think she's supposed to be the XO, but I was kind of surprised that things started breaking out, the captain was like, "Go take care of the kids." Like, what? Are you the
But
XO?
her primary responsibility is the students.
Right, but maybe somebody's primary responsibility should be the students who isn't the XO of the ship.
Exactly.
I
was
agree.
surprised to find
I
out that she
agree.
was the XO.
Right.
Okay, I was
That's
too.
my
just didn't
understanding. Now,
what
we
you
might watch
said.
the show and find out that that's wrong. But
That's
my
true.
understanding was that she's the executive officer and sort of the student wrangler. But maybe that should be two different roles because I mean, like, if a battle broke out, Picard's not going to immediately order Riker off the bridge.
Right.
Right.
Yes, Veronica.
I also, speaking of her and wrangling students, I don't understand why the students didn't just go boop boop back to their.
Well, we don't know that they have the transporters in their badges.
Why
Well,
would
I bet they don't.
Well, I don't know. We've seen several clips of them holding pads, and usually those Tricom badges also have the hologram interfaces.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we know that she's got it. She didn't have to tap hers. She just sort of disappeared.
Yep, she didn't even have to tap it.
Yeah. But I mean, we don't know for sure. I mean, would you give a bunch of 18-year-olds personal transporters?
I mean, if they're in Starfleet,
Right. Maybe you have to earn that.
I mean, if they're at the level
they
where
just
they're
gave them willy-nilly to the Discovery crew,
True.
and they
if they're
went crazy with them.
if they're at the level where they're basically in a teaching hospital, they're at their last stage of, education, one step away from going into service, I would, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, from a
But-
dramatic point of view, I think it's more exciting to watch them all running upstairs than
That is
everybody
true.
just disappearing.
However,
One of the comments that I read was, why do they need stairs? They can
Yeah.
transport.
Right.
Well, why not have stairs? I mean, come on.
I don't know. They sort of set themselves up for this, though, with the technology that they have. Because
Yes.
you think there'd be a button on the bridge where it says all cadets to their cabins. And then they all just would, right?
It's labeled in marker on the captain's chair, on the arm of the captain's chair.
Yeah.
that
So
would be so smart.
When stuff breaks, when the shit hits the fan, they just hit that button. All the cadets are safe. And and the grown-ups carry on dealing with the situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a funny comment, Alan, about people talking about things like stairs and stuff, because it just maybe it's my age and how I was raised. I work in IT, but my belief has been and always will be, you need to have practical stuff for when technology fails.
100%.
End of story. So
100%.
Give me some stairs.
About that, and this may be jumping forward a little bit, but about that scene where we first see the students and they're running up the stairs, but it starts with that sweeping camera shot from up above and comes down to them. Is that the, like, quote unquote neck section of the ship? Like we're looking up through the interior of it?
I don't know. It kind of looked like they were focusing in on that dome.
Yeah,
That might be inside the dome. It just looked like the interior is bigger than the exterior.
Yeah.
To me, like
it's bigger on the inside.
Right, but I don't have a good idea of the scale of this ship yet.
Right.
Me either.
But the showrunners never had a good scale of the interior of the Discovery either.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Like the city from Tron was inside the Discovery.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
All right. Calisaurus says, beam it. No one wants to get left on that planet. Showing how your transporters clean and tight it. What? Oh, it doesn't matter if it's day or night. Just beam it. Just beam it.
Oh, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, good God. How did I not pick up on that's what? Oh
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Just beam it. I get it now. Oh my God. I'm so dumb. I am. Talk about
Clever.
thick. That's
Clever put that together so quick, too.
Yeah.
Matt says this bridge crew feels older than a typical Starship crew.
Okay.
And they're not a typical Starship crew.
Yeah.
Really?
So I thought the same thing, but then if they're an academy, this is almost like taking West Point of the Naval Academy into space. So
Yeah.
maybe they would be older because they're going to be experienced military officers and instructors.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But I will say, Holly Hunter doesn't seem as old, and from what I've seen in the trailers and in this clip, as like some of her most recent shows. She played the second character on a show, the 2-season show called Mr. Mayor. And I don't know, she seemed older there than she does here.
I agreed. I noticed that too.
Okay.
Anyway, Past Shelf Date says something has to be really disappointing for me. The 1970s Doberman Gang movies had too little of the dogs to be bad for me. Okay. And also, I've been watching Resident Alien, good choice, while donating something. I don't know what that is.
Platelets.
I guess so. I guess that's supposed to be platelets. It's been great hearing George Takei as a sassy gay alien. I don't know. Oh, a gray. Okay. Ooh, I'm having a struggle with this tonight. Somebody want to take over this? Mark says Riker was in charge of Wesley's education, heavy on study. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things that what Charles was saying is I thought the same thing. Is this an academy that goes into space, or is it a military ship that has an academy? Because to the point, you can have your executive officer whose main job should be the ship, especially in combat. And then you would have somebody whose main job would be students in the academy. Those are two different jobs. Really.
Yeah, you don't need the executive officer to go down there and yell, "Everyone run! Everyone run!"
Exactly. Right. Whoever is in charge of the students, that should be its own position on the ship, and that should be its own position in the main cast.
Exactly.
Because Riker being in charge of Wesley is different than Riker being in charge of a whole bunch of kids.
Well, like if the Borg attacked, Picard's not sending Riker to go check on Wesley.
No.
Right? Like Riker's doing his job.
Right. And, I mean, it is different, too, because Wesley was in the academy, but he was sort of new in the academy. He was young in his education. These guys are like their last step before graduation and entering service. So I think it is a very different situation than Wesley was in. Let's see. What else did I miss? Oh, past shelf date says stairs are great exercise. I can do more squats at 67 than people half my age.
Okay.
Amazing. That's so awesome.
Wait till you get to the future where you don't have to walk anywhere, though.
Yeah, like Wally.
Yeah.
Something that jumped out at me during that bridge scene was they had reported to the captain that like they've lost helm control, they're losing power. And then immediately after that, she ordered like emergency evasive action or evasive maneuver. And my thought was like, what is emergency evasive maneuver when you don't have any power or helm control? It's like everybody duck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm interested to see what happens next. Because
also, if they were out of power, how did they power a hologram to appear on their ship?
Okay.
Well, he did that, not them.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
But they have the holo emitters.
I mean, maybe he does too. So you're saying, is he projecting his own hologram onto their bridge?
Which is scary.
Yeah, they would have to have that emitters.
No, because but they said the holo emitters were out. That's why they were short of medical staff.
Oh.
That's right. The doctor said that.
I was just trying to recall. I think it was his holo emitters, and I was trying to recall where I'd seen that before. It was the Voyager episode with Jason Alexander, that brain trust episode, and he would show up in Janeway's quarters with the super advanced holographic projection technology that was indistinguishable from being there. Same thing. He could come through their shields. I think it's something like that.
She did order emergency holographic comms to be turned on, and then they had all the little holographic displays in addition to the. So I don't know. I feel like if you're a Starfleet ship, like you can't be allowing the enemy to project holograms onto your bridge.
Yeah.
Like what if they projected a bunch of ninjas?
I was thinking maybe the technology. Well, I'm thinking maybe he had technology to get through their shields. They couldn't stop him. But it's funny. Back to the conversation about the transporters and the stairs. One of the things I kept thinking was you've got the emergency holomillers for the doctor or the doctors, whatever. And then you've got the personal transporters. And then, like you said, she said emergency holograms. And again, as somebody who works in IT and is just as somebody who was raised before remote controls, I'm still thinking if somebody completely jacks your technology, what do you do? Because even in Star Trek, they do the shoulder thing, the badges on your chest, or you can go to the wall and push a button. And so I'd like to just see how far this super advanced technology they rely on. When somebody takes it down, what do they do?
Right. But also, the doctor said that holo emitters are down, so medical staff is limited, which means they have a lot more holographic doctors than just him.
That's scary.
Yes.
Whenever you do that, and one of these days, I'd like to do one of those shows again. Whenever you do that, for me, when I do those things about Star Trek that I question, not that I'm thinking is wrong, I have never personally felt the concept of an emergency hologram doctor makes sense. That's me personally, because it's too easy to screw the hooch with that technology. And in this case, if your technology goes down and you've lost a whole bunch of your medical staff because they're holograms, that's a real bad system to me. I don't think anything replaces humans in that case. Right. So that's very interesting to me to see that.
Well, let's talk a little about Picardo, because we've got 15 minutes of our show left and we've not even touched on Robert Picardo.
Yeah. Yeah,
We got our first glimpses live action of the Doctor for the first time in 30 years.
I was so happy to see him.
Yeah.
I wish that Tig Notaro was in this scene also, but I was happy to see Robert Picardo. And I'm so glad that he's still a smartass.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Still a little sassy, but also just doing his job. I mean, we basically just saw him. I like when he was like, get to your cabin, like everyone breathe or whatever it was he said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great to see him in action.
Yeah. I mean, he seems like he's just falling right back into it. And I know he's had some practice on Prodigy lately, just doing the voice.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems like he's just the Doctor again.
Yeah.
I really can't wait to hear his story. Has he been alive and online for 1,000 years? Was he turned off for some reason for a long time? What has he been doing? Because what a story that could be.
Yeah. Well, he said in interviews that, I mean, it's from what his interview, it sounded like the Doctor's been active this whole time.
Wow.
Because he talks about the people that he's lost, but because he's a hologram, like his memories don't fade. Like, so every death that he's experienced and every person he's lost, the memory is just as real and vivid to him and crisp as it was the day it happened. Yeah. And he's lived with that all these years. So I think there's a lot of really interesting pathos there for a character.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's really cool. People like to say, like, I hope it's the alternate Doctor from that one Voyager episode where he was 700 years in the future.
Yeah.
I don't. I want it to be the Doctor.
Yes, the Doctor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, not the Living Witness Doctor.
Thank you. That was the episode, Living Witness.
Yeah. I love that
episode.
Now I wouldn't mind if that Doctor showed up at some point,
right?
But I don't want that to be the Doctor.
No, agreed. What else? We didn't get a whole lot of our student cast.
True.
This was really a focus on the officers, and all we really got was the two of the characters, the Klingon and the main boy, who kind of walk up to the camera and say, "What is that?" And then one of the girls like wakes up, from being knocked out or whatever, and that's it. So it's really interesting that they chose a clip that doesn't tell us anything at all or give us any exposure to our students who are supposed to be like the focus of this show. And we only got 3 of them, and there's a lot more to see than just what we saw.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting choice. They're trying to make this is a Star Trek show. This is about a working starship with an officer crew, and they're trying to, I don't know, not necessarily downplay the student aspect of it, or maybe they're just saving it. I don't know, but
I don't know. But you're right. Like they had that promo image that was very Dawson's Creeky, but then this clip is very Star Trekky, where it's the adult crew. They're on the bridge. Let's scan the radiation in this asteroid field. Oh no, we're under attack. Like, it's a very Star Trek setup with very Star Trek feeling characters. So, and that's got to be deliberate. Like
100%.
They could have had a 4-minute clip of 2 of the teenagers making out under a tree, right?
Exactly.
And we may be having a very different conversation, or talking about something else.
This was damage control from that stupid poster. 100%.
Yeah.
Past Shelf Date says, my biggest reason for wanting to catch Academy is more Robert Picardo. Agreed.
Yep. So when we were
mine is Tig Notaro, but
so we were talking about the attacks. What did y'all think about those little attack things that like banged into the ship and then like spread these little leafy things that they would not look good in tacos?
My first thought was, as the Abrams influence continues, they love those little twirly, spinny things. Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah. I don't care that much about the pew pews. I'm like, I like the pew pews. The new pew pews are fine.
I like the little. Not when it actually did that, but once it hit and it was like spreading the line everywhere. That was kind of cool.
That was weird, and I don't know why you would do that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't either.
But also, it looked like it was spreading over an area of the ship that's basically mesh, like not mesh material, but that the pattern on the hull is a mesh pattern. And I thought that was a really weird construction choice.
Yeah. And now, I mean, hopefully it's some kind of weird super future 32nd century technology.
Yes.
And that we'll learn more about it. I don't know if they'll ever get into more of that or not, but I'm interested to find out, like you said, more about the ship, how it works, and we'll learn the geography of it. I know this one we're just sort of thrown into 4 minutes of the show. but I'm hoping they've got the biggest standing set in Star Trek history, and I believe it's bigger than the Promenade, which previously was the biggest standing set. And now, I mean, there's had
Wow.
people in 1990 through 1993 that were like not liking the design of DS9 and what is like this so different and all that kind of stuff, the kind of things that we're feeling now about this ship. So I'm hoping that as we get to spend some time there, that it'll feel like home. You know, we're like now, where I mean, I've seen on the Promenade is just like, you know, warm milk. You know, like you just feel comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm hoping that this gets there as well. What are you like?
Oh, I think it will.
Okay.
Warm milk. I was kind of wondering. I think, Alan, you made a good point, because they go from that horrible WBCW poster to a straight up battle. And this is not a criticism. It's just truly wondering, what is the mission and what's the path of this academy? Where are they going? Do they ever go into what they would consider to be unknown, unexplored, or dangerous space? Or is he just following you around? So I kind of wonder, will they have dangers of the week? How is that going to work?
Right. How much is Paul Giamatti going to be in this show?
Yeah.
Is he every week villain, or is he in it twice? Or
can't be,
because they can't go out to, they can't do something like say no one's ever been this far out before. They can't send them in the Badlands space. They can't say we picked up a board.
They were at the Badlands this time.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
But here's the thing: they can do all the standard Star Trek things, delivering medicine to a virus, plagued planet, because this is the first time these cadets will have done this stuff. This is a way of teaching these cadets. This is what Starfleet does. So you're going to go back to the basics of what this show is about, because you're teaching these students. This is the mission. The mission is delivering medicine. The mission is delivering quadricritical, whatever that thing was called.
Quadricriticale.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. So I think it's going to be an interesting thing to watch this group of students experiencing Starfleet for the first time. It's kind of the same approach that Prodigy was using, except that Prodigy wasn't doing it with trained, potential officers.
Right.
So I wonder, therefore, it's what you're saying, because I agree, because that's the way I would think Dr. Crusher in the alternate future, where she commanded a medical starship, that would be like she would do. So I wonder, therefore, if the mission of this academy would be they would never intentionally send them into danger.
Oh, sure.
I would assume that would be the case.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're going to go on missions that are dangerous, but I wouldn't expect that they're going to send them, into the neutral zone or
right.
Maybe they will. I don't know.
Yeah, they will if they're the only ship that can go.
Well, and then Charles, you mentioned the whole sled. Maybe the ship detaches sometimes. They stay here because one of the jokes for Star Trek, since they've been doing it, is the whole joke about like Voyager and stuff. They'll say something like, "Well, the shuttlecraft went on this journey in the other direction for a week," and sometimes like, "Why is the shuttlecraft going that way?" Because they need the ship to come get them. So maybe they'll do this here. Maybe sometime they'll make the academy stay there, and the ship will go off somewhere else and get into some danger. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Right. I like the clip. I mean, there was some cheese, but you kind of expect that. I'm hoping they'll avoid the trap that Prodigy season 2 fell into, where the kids essentially never did anything Star Trek-y, and they were just immediately running rogue and doing whatever they wanted to.
Right.
You know what I mean? From episode 1, like there was never a period where they were doing Starfleet missions and doing what they're supposed to do. Those kids were off the rails from episode 1 of season 2. So hopefully we'll get these kids or young adults at least learning to be Starfleet officers.
Yeah.
See, when this show first got announced, well, actually, even before that, there's been talk about an Academy show for a long time.
Right.
My vision of this was to do a Star Trek show that was not Starship based. That you're at the Academy, you're in San Francisco, you're in a classroom, you're at Hogwarts, basically.
Same here.
And that it would be kind of a thing that you're going to get to go on a starship, that you're going to get to do a mission.
Right.
It's kind of like Ortegas, who just all she wants to do, she loves piloting the ship, but she just wants to do an away mission just one time, and that's like her thing. And I kind of was thinking this was going to be a classroom-based thing. They're learning what Starfleet is. They're learning what starship life is about. And maybe at the end of the season, or maybe because there's some emergency, they do get sent on a mission. And they're kind of like, we've been waiting for this. We've been preparing for this, but we've never done this before. We're kind of freaking out about it, and see who rises to the occasion and who doesn't. And I don't know. It's just a very different thing for me that it's a Starship-based show.
Same here. I wonder if part of the justification for this will be because the Federation collapsed and they're rebuilding it.
Sure.
And so maybe they think it's better to go out almost as ambassadors to learn than staying in one place.
I guess.
Travel around.
I'm okay if they go into Star Trek in episode 1, because I remember back when Picard started and took him 3 episodes to go to space, and I was losing my mind.
But that was a different thing. You know that Picard is going to go into space.
Right.
I mean, you're told
Eventually.
that at the very beginning, and then it takes them so long to get there. If you know that this is going to be an Academy-based show, you're waiting for it, but you're not like, I don't know. It's a different expectation in my head.
I like when they trek to the stars.
That's fine, but
I know.
I agree with Alan.
variation.
I agree with Alan, and I think, like, I agree with Alan. I'm not even thinking it's quote unquote bad. I just didn't expect it, because Alan and I both talked about this before. I was thinking an Academy would be planet bound, and then I was thinking if you're going to go out into space, a medical show with, again, like a medical starship like Beverly Crusher had that would travel around the galaxy. I was thinking that would have been the one going on the track, but I'm really open to it. One thing I thought was very interesting is I'm really curious again how they're going to merge the military and the academy, because the way Holly Hunter's character so casually said fire, she seems to have a lot of confidence in her ship's firepower. So that seems like that's a straight up powerful military vessel, not a teaching ship, whatever that is.
Well, it looks It looks like a pretty hefty ship.
Yeah, it does. Because
Yeah.
of course, Paul Giamatti then came on and started cracking wise and playing that kind of villain. But she was very confident, because she even looked like fire weapons. Like, I got to do this.
Right.
So she seems like, I guess she's a very, very experienced combat officer from what I got from that.
I mean, she's supposed to be like 600 years old. So
that's true.
I mean, you think like she's not terribly fake. Well, no, firing torpedoes at me and going to get me riled up,
Yeah. Okay. 3 comments from Matt.
Okay.
Maybe this ship's mission is an extended Kobayashi Maru. That's my guess. Yeah.
You think the whole thing's a simulation?
Not a simulation, but a situation that they're put in.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Matt
He's saying that.
Matt says the big reveal at the last episode is this whole series has been a training simulation that they never got. They're told the cadets about. Paul Giamatti's villain is just an actor. That would be hilarious.
Matt, that's the
That would
Dallas
be
treatment.
awesome. However, we've already know that there's backstory between that.
They wake
Yes.
up in bed next to Bob Newhart. At the end of the season.
And he also says, or like that psych exam Wesley had to go through. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's what I wanted this series to be about, seeing them have to go through those kind of things that Wesley had to go through.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I mean, but hey,
Same
we've done a
here.
pretty good job of talking about those 4-minute clip for an hour.
We have
40
we
minutes.
have spent whole episodes doing a 2-minute trailer.
Right.
So I was not worried about this.
Yeah. I didn't even bring visual aids this time. We did great.
I think overall for me, I didn't have anything else. Oh, I'm going to hate this. I didn't have an overwhelming negative. I am truly intrigued. Like Alan, what you were saying about the Starship Academy, the way you thought of it is how I thought of it. But if they're doing it differently, I'm really just going, I'm curious. I'm intrigued.
Sure. Even though it's a Starship-based thing, it's going to be different than all the previous Starship-based shows. So I'm looking forward to what they have in store for it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to nitpicking it every week, even though I'm looking forward to the show. I know we're going to have nitpicks, and that's part of the fun.
Right on.
Veronica?
Yeah.
Present. We're all giving our closing opinion.
Oh, that part.
That part. What he said.
Here.
I don't have any thoughts.
Okay. Nothing about Battle Michael Jackson?
Daniel Jackson.
Okay.
He's a
All
smooth operator.
Well, next
Battle
week we're going to
Michael.
be doing every year we've been doing an end of year countdown. Now, the last few years we've been doing the Star Trek episodes of the year because there was a lot of Star Trek episodes. We decided not to do that this year because we only had 10 Star Trek episodes and Section 31 and very short treks. And so it would really just be choosing, we would all just be ranking the 10 Strange New Worlds episodes.
100%.
So instead, we decided to set a more ambitious goal and do our top Klingon episodes across the entire franchise. So we're gonna do our top 5 individually, and then our collective top 10. And so we'll be diving into Klingon episodes next week.
And I need to get those to Alan.
You all do because
I sent mine.
He should have
Did
seen
you?
mine.
I sent you mine.
Oh, I didn't know.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There's going to be some crossovers, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I'm sure there will be.
Yeah,
There's plenty of Klingon episodes to choose from. So
Yes.
everybody be thinking Klingon for next week. We'll be talking about our top Klingon episodes. Yep. That'll be Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube and Facebook. Alan, where can people find more of you?
CosmicCreative.com. KOZ. What is it? MICCreative.com, where you can look up information about the 2 new Doctor Who books that I have coming out very, very soon. They are imminent, I will say. Even though I may change the cover art completely, but we'll see.
And how about you, Keith?
You can find me on Facebook, primarily the ESO Network Facebook groups.
And how about us, Veronica?
Eltonnerdy.com.
That's right. And if you're in the Atlanta area, come out to the Holiday Puck and Puppet Show this Saturday at the Center for Puppetry Arts. That'll be Saturday, I think at 9:30, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, check the date, or check the not the day, but check the time. But yeah, we'll be there with some really great puppeteers, and then there's also a really great puppetry workshop. The guest performer for the Holiday Puck and Puppet Show is putting on a workshop on Sunday. That's going to be a lot of fun. So look into that. If you don't know how to get there, talk to me if you want to do it.
Yeah.
And where else will we find us?
Monkeying Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
That's right. And we just did a live show with our holiday gift guide for Monkeys fans. So check that out. And just recently we talked to the CEO of 7A Records about a new Monkeys related release. We've been having a lot of fun on that show. All right. Do you have a closing for us this week?
Yes. I remembered that I was supposed to do this 5 minutes ago, and I had an idea. It's kind of already been used, but that's okay. It'd be great if we don't get hit again, or something like that.
Okay. I think you're messing up that quote, but I know where you're going with that.
I know where I'm going with it.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Join us Thursday evenings live at 8 p.m. Eastern or after the fact on your favorite podcast platform.
Take care. Thanks all.
Bye, y'all.